Okay, I'm joining now. Right?
Coached by Omobabirin
All right.
presents 9 speakers, 9 topics, 1 platform, the Global Brand Summit. Featuring career, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development. Meet the speakers. Roach Mamabolo, founder the Laura Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Joyce Daniels, social engineering practitioner. Tuwe Akiseun, talent development and management professional. John Obidi, new media consultant and founder, Head Start Africa. Morayo Brown, media content creator, convener and anchor Your View. Christabel Ikben, CEO, Christabel Ikben Consulting Limited. Adebayo Adeyinka, author, 30 career lessons I learned along the way. Staliana Abobu Kesta, founder, principal partner, Kate CEO Nigeria, and Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko, convener the Global Brand Summit. Schedule date 23rd to 24th April 2021. Time morning section 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and evening section 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue will be disclosed to only registered participants. Sign up now at bit.ly/the Global Brand Summit for free. Coached by Omobabirin presents 9 speakers, 9 topics, 1 platform, the Global Brand Summit. Featuring career, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development. Meet the speakers. Roach Mamabolo, founder the Laura Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Joyce Daniels, social engineering practitioner. Tuwe Akiseun, talent development and management professional. John Obidi, new media consultant and founder, Head Start Africa. Morayo Brown, media content creator, convener and anchor Your View. Christabel Ikben, CEO, Christabel Ikben Consulting Limited. Adebayo Adeyinka, author, 30 career lessons I learned along the way. Staliana Abobu Kesta, founder, principal partner, Kate CEO Nigeria, and Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko, convener the Global Brand Summit. Schedule date 23rd to 24th April 2021. Time morning section 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and evening section 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue will be disclosed to only registered participants. Sign up now at bit.ly/the Global Brand Summit for free.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. I want to greet you all. Bonjour, ça va, bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour Suleiman means good morning, everyone. I just said I should bamboozle with my little French. So greetings from my people here from Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. It's good to be here. Once again, thank you all for joining us. I want to believe that we all had an amazing session yesterday. It's another beautiful morning, and we are going to be starting on a very big note. Without saying so much, I'm going to be bringing in our moderator for today. Her name is Rasheedat Adeyinka. She is streaming live from Abuja, Nigeria, and she is the one that is going to anchor this event. I want to believe you all have your notepad, you have your pen, your internet connection is top notch, you had your headphones, and you're ready. If you are ready, we are ready. So let's dive straight into business for today. Good morning, Rasheedat. Good to see
Good
you.
morning. Thank you. Thank you,
Looking so
Omobabiri.
beautiful and refreshed. And I'm very
Yes.
sure we're going to have an amazing time with you today.
Oh, yes. Yes. God willing. Good
So I am
morning,
going to be
everyone.
handing over my people to you, and I am very sure they are going to have the best of time with you today. So all the best as I leave the stage. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the Global Brand Summit by the beautiful Omobabiri Adeola Oshideko. Yesterday was all shades of amazing, and today promises to be way, way more. I hope you are excited as much as I am. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you're here, tell us how excited are you? 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Please share in the comment section. How excited are you for today's session? We have amazing line of speakers, and I can't wait for us to dig in, to enjoy and take from the knowledge that they have. So this is the best time for you to invite your friends. Please get the link to this YouTube video if you're watching via YouTube, or share on your Facebook if you're watching the Facebook Live. Share it on your status, on your WhatsApp status, on your Facebook. Send to your friends, to those WhatsApp groups you belong to. Please share with them so that we all can benefit. We can all lift one another up, right? So please share the link with more people. The more, the merrier. Now, our speaker has 30 minutes to talk to us and 10 minutes to take questions from our audience. So if you are like me, you should have your note and your pen ready. Give us this 30 minutes to listen to him. I promise you, you will gain a lot from this speaker, because he is a fountain of knowledge. So settle down nicely and let's get ready. We are going to introduce our speaker now. His name, he is an amazing person. I learned from him. I watched one of his videos recently during Ubon King's, there was a summit, there was an event held in honor of Ubon King, and I watched it, and in fact, it changed my thinking towards relationships in a big way. Now, he's going to talk about how to get your dream job in a saturated labor market. We all know how saturated the labor market is. There are people who have been out of jobs. There are people who haven't even gotten jobs since graduating from university. And there are more people graduating by the day. Now, how do you stand out? How can you set yourself apart to get all the jobs, the good jobs in the labor market? Now, I'm going to tell you about him. Can you please wipe technical team so that I can read about him? His name is Mr. Adebayo Adeyinka. He is a seasoned professional, a graduate of a mechanical engineering graduate from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, where he was the SUG president. He also holds an MBA from the same institution. Mr. Adebayo has worked across various roles and functions in the banking sector and has experienced and has experience working with an international bank, among others. He is an honorary senior manager of the Chartered Institute of Bankers in Nigeria, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Loan and Risk Management of Nigeria, and a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Professional Financial Managers in Nigeria. Oh, wow. Wow. He is versatile in commercial and retail banking with cogent experience in wealth management and working with SMEs, credit analysis, project structuring, turnaround management, product development, export and retail finance. He has very strong business communication, leadership, and people skills. He is involved in mentoring and training, and he is also a published author with 3 books to his credit. With his third book, 30 Career Lessons I Learned Along the Way, which was released in December 2018. Everyone here, please give it up. Share smileys, fire smileys, share your excitement, your dance smileys, and welcome our guest, Mr. Adebayo Adeyinka. It's so honored. I'm so honored to welcome you on here, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Rashidat. Thank you so much. Thank you for the warm accolades. I want to also thank Omobabiri Adeola for this great platform. Thank you so much. I joined the bit yesterday. I was able to watch a bit of the event yesterday, and I was really, really challenged. I was inspired. I was blessed. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a few thoughts in the next 40 minutes thereabouts on the topic, how to get your dream job in a saturated labor market. Okay, so here we go. Now, with what has happened in the Nigerian labor market over the past 1 year, COVID happened. So what we now know as the saturated market has taken a new dimension. A new dimension in the sense that we now have what everybody now considers the new normal. Okay, remote work, people working from home, a lot of jobs have been followed, there have been a lot of job losses, and it has actually exacerbated that situation. So with the pandemic, the job industry, the labor market in Nigeria has taken a new dimension. Now, one other thing you need to understand is the fact that saturated markets are everywhere. There is nowhere you get to right now. All over the world, we have saturated markets. And the only thing you can do when you have a saturated market, the key to unlock it is differentiation. The key to unlock a saturated market is differentiation. I read somewhere where one of the former CEOs of Coca-Cola said something, Sergio Zyman. He said, you can't sell sameness. When you have a saturated market, you can't sell sameness. That means you can't be the same with every other person in a saturated market. Okay? So the key to unlocking a saturated market is differentiation. Now, let's define what a saturated market is. Let's define what a saturated labor market is. Now, a saturated job market has any of the 4 conditions I'm going to mention. There are 4 typical conditions of a saturated labor market. And when you see one, or you see a combination of everything, then you have a saturated labor market. You can just flip to the beginning of the slides. Yes. Number 1, there are fewer jobs than qualified candidates to fill in. So when you have a situation where you have fewer jobs than qualified candidates to fill in, that is an example of a saturated labor market. Fewer jobs than qualified candidates. That means you have too many qualified candidates, but you don't have enough jobs for them to be able to take it. And that is the situation we have in Nigeria right now. So many people are qualified. So many graduates are churned out every year. So many people in the unemployment market. So many are even overqualified for what they apply for. So in a situation where you have very few jobs, but you have more qualified candidates, in excess of the jobs that are available, then you have a saturated job market. Another condition of a saturated job market is when it is overpopulated by people who have the same kind of qualifications, who have the same kind of skills, who have the same kind of degrees, then you have that condition satisfied. You have a saturated job market. Okay, overpopulated by people who have your qualifications, who have your skills. Gone are those days when in the nation you will understand that, oh, in the whole of Nigeria, you have only about 50 people who have this kind of skills, or you have about 100 people who graduated from medical school all over Nigeria. So before they finish school, before they graduate, their jobs are waiting for them. But now have thousands of graduate engineers, thousands of medical doctors, hundreds of thousands of people who read accounting or who studied law. You have thousands of people who have been, churned out from the bar, every year. So when you have a situation where, you have an overpopulation of people who have the same kind of qualifications, the same kind of skills, then you have a saturated job market. Let's look at the third condition. The third condition is when your job or your skill is no longer in high demand. When your job or your skill is no longer in high demand, then you have a saturated labor market. There are certain skills now that have gone into extinction or they are no longer required. I remember so many years ago, if you want to type your CV, definitely you'll be looking for a typist all over the place. Okay, people have typewriters. I mean, that was the jobs of some people. They actually sat down waiting for people to come and type documents, and that was how they get their daily bread every single day. But those jobs have gone into extinction. So many things have happened. Nowadays, a lot of people don't actually need photographers to do what they need to do. They take their own camera, their own phone, and they can do so many things by themselves. Okay? And so when your job or your skill is no longer in high demand, that is also a condition of a market that is saturated. So you need to begin to think that job that you have, that skill that you currently have, what kind of demand exists for that skill? What kind of demand do you have for that skill right now? Is that job still in high demand? In the next 10 years, what is the future of that career that you have? What is the future of that job role? What is the future of what you do? Will it still be in high demand, or will technology, make it evolve? Finally, looking at the fourth condition for a saturated market, when there are no new job offers in a certain field or profession, then you have a saturated job market. No new offers. And isn't that what we have in the nation right now, when people are at home after graduating for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, no job offers, okay, in a certain field? And that replicates itself all over the world. So when you don't have new job offers in a certain field or a profession, then you have a saturated job market. And for instance, when we have the impact of COVID-19, the pandemic, this is very significant right here. So any of those four conditions will make us have a saturated job market. Let me just recap. When there are fewer jobs than qualified candidates to fill in, when that certain sector is overpopulated by people who have the same qualifications, who have the same skills, when your job or your skill is no longer in high demand, or when there are no new job offers in a certain field or profession, then you have a saturated job market. And like I said earlier, the key to unlocking that market is differentiation. Let's move ahead. Now, let's just take an overview of the Nigerian job market. Now, my intention here is not to analyze what has been happening. Everybody understands the challenge. Everybody understands the Nigerian labor market especially. So my intention here is not to come and analyze what the challenges are, but to situate the problem and see how we can provide solutions to this particular situation that is staring hundreds of thousands of people in the face. Now, in the Nigerian job market, we have about 1.8 million graduates that enter the job market on an annual basis. So every single year, 1.8 million graduates from tertiary institutions, from universities, from polytechnics, from colleges of education, they enter the job market annually. So just multiply that in the last 5 years, how many graduates have entered the job market? And then you are able to properly situate the extent and the enormity of the challenges that are facing us in the face. Now, even very recently, there was a bank that advertised an entry-level job. And within 48 hours, within 2 days, over 21,000 candidates applied for the job in just 48 hours, in just 2 days. And it was even an entry-level job. Entry-level means you're below 26, 27, you've just finished your NYSC in the last 1 year, okay, and you have the right qualification. Within 48 hours, 21,000 people applied for that job. That underscores the enormity of the challenge. Unemployment, underemployment. Now, there is a difference between unemployment and underemployment. Now, unemployment is I don't have a job. Underemployment is I have a job, but the job is beneath my qualifications. I'm overqualified for it. This is not the kind of job I should be doing now. So let's even forget unemployment and let's even look at underemployment. Now, underemployment is growing annually at a rate of 20.1%. 20.1%. That means if you take 100 people, okay, you gather 100 people together in a cluster, 20 out of those 100 people are underemployed. And that's alarming. So we have a situation where a graduate is most likely going to ride a bike, an Okada, like we say it in our local parlance in Nigeria. A graduate is most likely to ride an Okada. That means if you take 100 people who ride bikes, most likely you will find out of them a sprinkling of people who graduated from a university, a polytechnic, or a college of education. One of the companies that we have even in Nigeria some time ago, Dangote Industries, actually advertised for master's holders, master degree holders as truck drivers, Okay, so that underscores the rate of underemployment in Nigeria. And all over, from interviewing people almost on a daily basis, based on what I do, you see that there's a dearth of skilled applicants everywhere. But more especially for managerial roles, for professional roles, or for technical roles. People are not skilled. You interview a lot of people and you cannot even employ them. There was a particular day that myself and I was on a panel of interview. We interviewed close to 100 people and we could not actually select 5. That day, I was really burdened. I had to write an article called The Interview. You can Google it, The Interview by Adebayo Adeyinka. I had to write an article that went viral, explaining what the situation was and preferring solution to that situation, especially for people who are going to appear at interviews. So there's a lack, there's a dearth of skilled applicants everywhere you turn to. And between 2015 and 2018, 15 million Nigerians entered the labor market, but only 3.5 million jobs were created. So if 15 million people entered within 3 years and 3.5 million jobs were created, what happened to the 12.5 million people? That means they are either underemployed or they are unemployed. And we have a very competitive market. Nigeria is a very competitive market. Whatever skill you think you have, another person even has better skills. Whatever qualification you have, other people have far better qualifications. Some of them even from abroad. Okay, so that is the overview of the Nigerian market. But I'm here to say this morning that in spite of what looks like a very huge task, a very bad situation, you can actually get a job in spite of the saturated markets. And I believe that's why we're here this morning. I still believe everybody is following me this morning. Now, there's a ray of hope. Give me the next slide, please. There's a ray of hope. And I need to situate this ray of hope properly so that people will understand that even though there are challenges, we still have a silver lining in the cloud. There are still a lot of sectors that are doing very, very well, creating jobs. And I'm bringing this out this morning so that we can begin to focus. A lot of us can begin to look at those areas, those sectors that are doing quite okay, because those sectors are creating jobs. People are finding employment within those sectors, and they are doing very well. Can you give me the next slide, please? If you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. So there's a ray of hope. Now, Nigeria is home to over 200 fintechs and growing. So we see a situation in the last couple of years that a lot of companies, they are springing up almost on a daily basis, offering financial solutions. Okay, there are tech companies that are offering financial solutions to the general public, and they're springing up and they're creating jobs. And there's a buzz around them. So many are even getting funded by venture capitalists, by investors, and the more they grow, the more they create jobs. So those are areas that I think that anybody who is actually looking for a job or looking for employment in this saturated market can begin to look at. That area is not crowded. There are a lot of opportunities in that area. For example, we have 200 million people in Nigeria, but it will interest you to know that over 50% are still unbanked. So there are a lot of fintechs that are creating innovative products and solutions and services, okay, leveraging on technology, and they are driving a lot of solutions, a lot of innovations, which a lot of people are latching on, and they are creating jobs as they do so. And these fintechs are growing by the day. So many venture capitalists have recognized them. So many are pouring funds, to be able to finance them, to support them with finances. And the more they do this, the more they are able to create jobs. So maybe these are some of the areas we need to also look at. There are online payment providers. I'm not done yet. Online payment providers like Paystack, okay, like Flutterwave, like a lot of all these organizations, they are coming up. There are so many right now, and they are creating jobs in their way. There are tech companies that are on the rise. Agriculture is also a sector that you cannot pull down in this country. Why? 200 million people have to feed. Okay, so but we are going beyond the basic manual labor in agriculture. There are a lot of agri-tech companies also. Okay, there are a lot of people who are latching onto the anchor borrowers chain, and they are all over the nation, and they are doing so many different things, partnerships. Okay, so agriculture is an area too that is a growth area in the economy. We have entertainment. I believe a lot of people will still remember during the lockdown how suddenly everybody was indoors and all we had was either our TV or our phones. And there was a massive rise in innovation. Okay, a lot of things happened online. Okay, there were Instagram Live. Instagram Live. A lot of people went on Twitter. A lot of people went on Facebook Live. Okay, so many people were innovative, and so many jobs were created during that lockdown. So entertainment is a growth area in Nigeria. Now, this is one area where we have not been able to maximize the value chain of entertainment beyond just concerts, beyond just record deals. There are so many aspects of entertainment that people are now beginning to recognize, and they are maximizing. So that's also a great growth area. The same thing with social media. The same thing with e-commerce. Those are areas that you may want to call growth areas in the Nigerian economy. Same goes for telecoms. Right now, all of us are online. If you're online and you're watching me right now, you must have bought data. Okay, you must have access to a smartphone, okay, or a digital device that you're using to watch me. And a lot of telecoms companies are creating new jobs by virtue of what we're doing right now. Okay, so there's a ray of hope. So it is not all gloom and doom when we're talking about the saturated job market. There are areas that are also growing. So let me go into the meat of the deal right now. How do you position yourself for that dream job? How do you position yourself for that dream job? You are looking for a dream job in a saturated market. What do you need to do specifically to help or to increase your chances of getting that your dream job? Whether your dream job is as an engineer, or you want to get a dream job in the banking industry, in the telecom segment, wherever segment that you're looking at, how do you position yourself very well, in spite of the fact that you understand that the job market is saturated? The first thing you need to realize is it's no longer about your certificate, it's now about your skills. Is skills over certificate now? You need to understand that. Is skills over certificate. Now, the future of work will no longer be about your degrees, no matter how many they are. Now, the World Economic Forum estimated that about 1/3 of all jobs worldwide will be transformed by technology within the next decade. Within the next decade, everything will be transformed. That is going to be about 1 billion jobs worldwide will be transformed by technology within the next decade. So we now have a situation where companies are changing their recruitment strategy. They are changing their hiring strategy, and they are looking at alternative recruitment pools. They are looking at talent pools to be able to recruit their staff. So you need to understand that having just a basic degree, having a degree is no longer a guarantee for getting a job. I think we should let that sink in. Just having a degree is no longer a guarantee for getting a job. And it's important for you to understand now that beyond your degree, skills are the primary building blocks of a career. Without skills, you don't even have a career. You don't have a chance. So skills are the primary building blocks of a career, but you need to understand that degrees are no longer determinants of your skills. So I can't pick your degree now, and from your degree, I'm able to determine your skills. It's not possible. So your degree is not a determinant of your skills. But we have a situation where our schools are just churning out graduates who don't even have the basic skills. So it's no longer about your certificate, it's about your skills. It's about your skills. Now, there are 3 types of skills, and I'll just mention that in passing. I believe you can read up on that. I've got some materials on YouTube where I spoke on some of those skills, extensively. 3 types of skills that anybody who is looking for a job in a saturated market should have. Number 1, employability skills. The second one is transferable skills. And the third one, technical skills. Okay, those are the type of skills you should be looking out for. So you need to put yourself in a position where your skills will speak louder than your degree or your lack of it. Let me say that again. You need to put yourself in a position where your skills will speak louder than your degree or your lack of degree. I discovered something very interesting. In 2019, Apple CEO Tim Cook, he announced that approximately half, about 50% of their workforce in Apple, they don't have college degrees. Wow. About 50% of a company that churns out a lot of digital devices worldwide, 50% of them don't have college degrees. He announced that in 2019. So the world of work is changing. It's no longer about your certificate. It's now about your skills. So you need to begin to ask yourself, what can you do? What skills are you bringing on board? When you're looking for a job, analyze your skills. Sometimes you may need to reskill. Reskill means, can you learn new skills? And you can learn new skills. Anybody can learn new skills. You can even train yourself. There are a lot of resources online. Apart from you going for training, there are a lot of resources on YouTube. There is nothing you want to learn that you cannot find online. Sometimes last year, I decided to up my skills in the area of data analytics. So I went for an advanced Excel course. And then I remember that I was given an assignment to do, and I tried to do the assignment. I couldn't find the headway. And I went on YouTube, and I saw that kind of assignment being solved. and I followed the way it was solved, and I got the solution to the problem. So there is almost nothing that you want to learn today that you cannot find somewhere. Somebody somewhere will help you to reskill. Somebody somewhere will help you, will teach you. So you may need to reskill. And there are several skills that you may need to learn. Skills about adaptability, about leadership, communication skills, local knowledge, emotional intelligence, innovative thinking, growth mindset, a combination of hard skills and soft skills. I'm still going to talk about soft skills, but what I'm talking about right now are the hard skills that you may need to learn. So it's no longer about your certificate, it's about your skills. It's about your skills. Let me say a final word on this particular slide. Your degree may help you in succeeding to open the door, but your skills will actually help you to keep the door opened. Please don't forget that. Okay. Secondly, number 2, how do you position yourself for your dream job? You need to articulate your value. Articulate your value. Articulate your value. Now, a lot of times when you go for interview, one of the questions you hear is, why should we hire you? And when you hear that question, why should we hire you? That is the time for you to articulate your value. That is the time for you to talk about your strengths. That is the time for you to talk about your skills. That is the time to talk about your personal qualities and what you are bringing to the table. In one interview that I attended some years back, one of the questions that I was asked was, why should we hire you? And I thought that was the very right place for me to articulate what I called my USP, my unique selling point. Some people call it EVP, employee value proposition. I called it my unique selling point. It was the right time for me to tell them about my unique selling point. Now, it was a new financial organization that had just come to Ibadan. I was in Ibadan at that time. So when they asked me, why should we hire you? I told them that, look, I am the right candidate for the job because I know Ibadan like the palm of my hands. And I started telling them about the city, not just the geographical locations, but I dimensioned the market. I dimensioned the top players in different sectors or segments in the city. And the more I spoke about it, the more I saw them nodding their heads. When you're at an interview session and the people that are interviewing you are nodding their heads, then you have their attention. So that was what I was able to tell them. I was able to give them the employee value proposition. You must be able to articulate your value. What value are you going to give if you're hired? Can you increase their profitability? How exactly are you going to be able to increase their profitability? Can you grow sales? Can you reduce their cost? Can you help them to expand the market? What value exactly are you going to be able to bring on board? It's important for you to understand that organizations are not just looking for people who will collect salaries alone, but they are looking for people who will add value. So when you attend interviews, you need to answer questions from the standpoint of value addition. Answer questions from the standpoint of value addition. You must be able to articulate your unique offer so that you can convince the employer that you are the right candidate. So when such questions are asked during interview, you start by recognizing your talents. You mention how you have utilized those talents. Then you let the employer connect the dots between your experience and why it's relevant. Okay, so I would encourage everybody listening to me this morning, be able to articulate your unique selling points, or be able to articulate your employee value proposition. Why should you be hired? What problems can you solve for that company or for that industry? So when you are at an interview, you need to be solution-minded. Let your value be more than just seeking a job. My last word on this will be, you need to understand that your resume, your CVs are now just mere obituaries of who you used to be. Your resume is an obituary of who you used to be. So you are your own most important spokesperson, and you need to represent your clients well. You are your most important spokesperson. represent your clients well. That CV you are carrying about, that resume you are carrying about, is an obituary of who you used to be. It is your employee value proposition, your articulation of your value that will now speak to who you currently are. Let's make progress. Number 3, when you're positioning yourself for your dream job, you need to be tech savvy. You need to be tech savvy. It's a digital word. And it will interest you. For some people, you don't need to say this too much. But when you sit down on a daily basis and you interview a lot of people, you understand how this is a major problem, how this is a major issue. It's a digital world, but so many people are still not digital savvy. Many people still don't understand how to use video conferencing tools. In spite of the fact that most interviews are virtual now. Most interviews are virtual. Just like we're doing right now. Before now, we would have rented a room or a hall for this kind of event, printed flyers, go to TVs and radio stations to see how we can draw people into the hall. But we have a bigger platform because we're doing everything virtually. But it will interest you to know that so many still don't understand how to use video conferencing tools. They don't understand how to engage social media. They don't understand how to tap into their social media tools. So if you are going to be able to tap into that saturated job market, you must be able to communicate with digital tools. There are some basic tech skills that everyone that is looking for a job in a saturated market should have. Number 1, you must be social media savvy. Social media savviness is a must going forward. All those days of, I don't have a Facebook account, I am not on Twitter, you don't have an online presence. No way. Background checks are actually being conducted online. So you must be social media savvy. Number 2, you must have presentation skills. You must have presentation skill. You must have the ability to be able to use PowerPoint. Very recently, there was something that we conducted for a set of people, and we didn't give them any notice. We just came there, gave them just 1 hour, gave them questions, and asked them to prepare PowerPoint presentations that they were going to present to us. And we just gave them just 1 hour notice. Now, anybody who does not have PowerPoint presentation skills at that time has already failed. It was too late for you to begin to consult people at that point. Okay, so presentation skills, very key. Number 3, word processing skills. Word processing skills. Word processing, as basic as being able to type on Word. Word processing skills. And I've mentioned number 4, video conferencing skills. So those 4 basic tech skills are things that can help you to get your dream job. So let's go to the next one, which is soft skills. Soft skills. How do you position yourself for your dream job? At the initial stage, we spoke about the hard skills. The hard skills are the technical skills, okay? But equally as important as the technical skills, the hard skills are the soft skills. The soft skills will complement your hard skills. They are character traits, or what we call interpersonal skills. They may be intangible, but they affect you even the most. That is the reason why we ask for face-to-face interview. Even if it is not physical interview and it is virtual, some questions that will be asked during the time when you are being interviewed will be questions around your soft skills. For your hard skills, sometimes we will be able to see from your CV. We'll be able to see it from your degrees. Maybe you trained as an IT person. Okay, we are able to see some of those things from your qualifications. But when we interface with you and we interview you, that is when we're able to have an understanding of your soft skills. And when I'm talking about your soft skills, I'm talking about your ability to work with others. I'm talking about your organizational skills, your leadership skills. Okay, I was at an interview session some time ago. We're looking for salespeople for a particular role, a sales role. And while interviewing a lady, she spoke so articulately. Our interview was so compelling. It was a very wonderful interview session. And then she mentioned the fact that while she was on campus, she was the vice president of the student union, and then she belonged to so many different societies, and we were able to connect the dots. This was going to be a very good salesperson. And of course, you can imagine that she was hired. Okay, so you need to be able to demonstrate those soft skills even during the time when you're being interviewed. Your communication skills, your email etiquette, your self-motivation, your decisiveness, your ability to work under pressure. Those are soft skills. So while hard skills can be shown via qualifications and degrees, soft skills are usually seen by observation. By observation. Observation. We need to move fast now. Now, the next point I want to talk about is how you need to build network and connections. How you need to work on your network and build connections. Wherever you are and wherever you are listening to me today, please don't underestimate the power of your network. The power of your network. Okay, and you need to be able to leverage on relationships. Just look around you. Who are the people you know? When you're looking for a job in a saturated market, that's where you should begin from. Your network. So I encourage people, go for alumni events. You belong to your alumni in your university, your secondary school. In my secondary school, MGC Doani, we have a very strong alumni where we look out for each other. So go for alumni events. Don't be anonymous. Belong to a social club. Don't be anonymous. Serve in them. A lot of those social clubs, Lions Club, Rotary Club, a lot of those clubs, belong to them. Some of these recreational clubs. Connect with people. There are about 3 different types of networks that you must have in your life. You must have a developmental network. You must have an operational network. Those things must be in your life. Connect. There are certain jobs, I don't have the time for this morning, but there's a lot of jobs that I've gotten them by virtue of relationships, by virtue of leveraging on my relationships and leveraging on my network. Let me show you the next slide. There's a diagram in the next slide that I want to show you to reinforce and to underscore the importance of leveraging on your networks. Now, there was a survey that was carried out by my job mag on people who just got jobs. I don't know if you can see this very clearly. Okay, there was a survey that was carried out by my job mag, and this is a result of the survey. About 5,300 and something people were interviewed for this survey. Okay, and they discovered that out of all the people who were surveyed, okay, who participated in the survey, 3.6% got their jobs by virtue of maybe you saw that advert in a newspaper. Okay, 1.3% got it from niche job boards. Okay, now take note of this. 36.1% got their jobs through family and friends. 36.1. Now, 21.1% got their jobs through referrals. I have gotten a job through referral before. Somebody writing on the back of his scorecard and say, please give this card to so and so person and tell this person that you are from me. That's referral. 21.1%. Now, 12% got their job from job boards. Now, another 12% got it from a recruitment agency. And there are so many of them now on LinkedIn, especially. I've had a lot of people call me from based on what I posted on LinkedIn, and they will say, excuse me, we are looking for so and so roles. We saw you on LinkedIn. We thought maybe there are people you can refer to us. And I've referred quite a lot of people to some of those organizations. Okay, and then 8.2% got their jobs via social media. 7.1% from company career site. So if you had the ones that got it through building on relationships, okay, and their networks, that is referrals, which is 21%, family and friends, which is 36.1%. Okay, we have recruitment agency, which is 12%, and then you have social media, which is 8.2%. That is a whooping 77.4% got their jobs through leveraging on relationships and their networks. That means if you have 100 people, 77 people will be through their networks and their relationships. So you cannot ignore the value and the power of your network. So work on your relationships. Work on your network. Number 6, I'm about to round up right now. Okay, trying to get a job in a saturated job market. I want to encourage you to volunteer. Serve as an intern. My wife once got a job after she volunteered. She wanted to teach at a very prime school in Ibadan at the time. And of course, they were not taking too many people. It was an international school. And then she actually wrote an application to be a volunteer, to intern. So she was going, I think, was it every day or 3 times a week? They weren't paying her any salary, but she was going there, and she did that for more than a year. For more than a year. And then suddenly a role opened. And who do you think they will first consider for that role? Of course, the person who has been a volunteer, somebody who has served with them, who understand the culture of the organization, who understand the way things work, will be the first person to be considered. So she was considered. So she became an assistant teacher, and later she became a full-time teacher. And thankfully, she runs her own school right now. So volunteer. When you volunteer, you pick up a lot of skills. When you volunteer, you add value. It can be a pathway to securing the real deal. So don't just sit down complaining, doing nothing. Volunteer. Be an intern. You're looking for a law job. Go to a law firm and volunteer. You're looking for an accounting job. You want to work in the accounting profession. Go to an accounting firm and volunteer. Apart from picking up skills, you may get referral, or when a role opens up, definitely you'll be the first to be considered. And finally this morning, if you want to get a job in a saturated market, I want to encourage you to have an online presence. I don't think we can emphasize this too much. Your social media is your new CV. Your social media is your online CV. That's the real CV right now. That's the real CV right now. So you need to consider how you show up online. How do you show up online? Do you have a strong online presence? Do you post meaningful content? A few months ago, there was a guy on Twitter who sent out a tweet that he was depressed, that he has a first class, but he hasn't been able to get a job. And a lot of people were commenting on that tweet. I saw that tweet. A lot of people were empathizing with him, some moaning about how the country is useless, some saying so many derogatory things and all that, just engaging in pity party. But I decided to go a step further. I decided to check this guy out online. So I went back to all his tweets, and I was going through, his timeline on Twitter. And I was shocked, boy. I was shocked. This guy was tweeting more or less pornography, very erotic things, sexual things, were 90% of the tweets that he sent out. And then I had to send him a message. I said, guy, if you are actually serious about getting a job, you need to clean up your online presence. Nobody will want to hire you with this kind of background check. So I sent him a tweet. I said, clean up. I said, clean up. Nobody's going to take you irrespective of your first-class degree when your head, what is filled with your head is not even brain matter. That is what is full, what you have inside your head. Nobody will want to hire such a candidate like that, okay? So don't lose opportunities because you can't exercise self-restraint online. I can't say that enough. Don't lose opportunities because you can't exercise self-restraint online. I think it was Tools a few months ago who also put out something that she actually lost a job opportunity because of something she did on YouTube so many months ago. During the interview, they just brought it out and say, your YouTube, whatever channel is this? Is this you? Is this what you did? And she was also ashamed of so many things that she had done in times past. So it's important that you have not just an online presence, but you consider how you show up online. You build a strong online presence and you post meaningful content. I want to believe that if you are able to follow some of these short points that I mentioned this morning during this session, you will have a higher chance of getting your dream job in a saturated labor market. I want to thank you for the opportunity and this platform that you have given to me, Omobabirin, Adiola, and Rashidat, the moderator. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I hope this has been a blessing to someone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My note is full and I can see notes. I can see a lot of comments from people on YouTube and Facebook as well. Thank you so much. Let me check through to see if there are any questions. We'll not take much of your time again, sir. I just want to check to see if there are questions. Please, if you have any questions, please drop. And this got me. This is deep. Your degree may help you in succeeding to open a door, but your skills will help you to keep the door open. I'm going to paste
Very
this
true.
because it
Very
doesn't.
true.
It's not only about the labor market. Even in relationships, even in business,
Yeah.
you may have the best of products, but if you do not have people skills, you don't have soft skills like you mentioned, it can also shut the door in the person's face. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this. I learned a lot. Thank you. Yes, so much value, so much value. Kemisola Adeyemo said so much value. Tolulope, I got value. Wisdom Kwashi said, wow, great delivery. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate your presence here.
Thank you so much, sir. I learned a lot, like
Yeah,
a lot.
His handles so that people can follow him on Facebook
Okay,
and other
so
platforms.
Mr. Bayo Adeyinka, I will just mention his handle so that Mr. Bayo Adeyinka is on Facebook. Just type Bayo Adeyinka, you will find him there. On Twitter, he's doing amazingly well on Twitter as well. His handle is at Greater Bayo. He's on LinkedIn, Bayo Adeyinka. So if you need to get in touch with him, he's a career coach with over 20 years experience as a senior person in the industry. So if you need to get in touch with him concerning anything that relates to career development, leadership, mentoring, he's a very good mentor. He mentors young people, so he is very helpful in the area of career development, leadership, and mentoring. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our invitation. And we hope that when we call you some other time, you will join us. Thank you. God bless you. Our regards to your family, and do have a wonderful weekend.
You too. God bless you. Bye-bye.
And yeah, the public speaking queen is here. I'm going to be leaving the stage now. Our guest is already waiting, and I know, no, this woman is just, you don't even want to miss this session. Like, you don't want to miss it. Oh, let me just say, I've always, of course, I attended a class in December, the wisdom, I can't remember the wisdom stuff. It was value loaded. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, Instagram videos. That was a particular night, I was watching a video back to back for like 2 hours, like so much value. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand over to Rashida Adeyinka now to warmly welcome our next guest.
Thank you. So our next guest is called the Queen of Talk. Before she comes in, I'd like to introduce her. We all need this, whether as business owners, whether as employees, because at certain points you will have to make presentations. You will have to stand before people to talk and probably defend something in your department or your product. So I want to introduce her and share something about her. Like I mentioned, she is called the Queen of Talk. Can you please slide to the next one? Joyce Daniels is a social engineering practitioner, recognized thought leader, mindset coach, nation builder. Let me just increase this. Nation builder and event host MC with over a decade of experience, regarded as one of the forces responsible for shaping the speaking and MC business in Nigeria. As a speaker, Joyce has authored 2 books and has trained over 8,000 individuals in speaking and MCing combined. As a mindset, confidence, and courage coach, she holds the hands of men and women in helping them unveil their genuine selves and find the path to help them live happy and fulfilled lives. Joyce offers training programs targeted at building mental toughness and bounce back ability, creating efficient systems to maximize your resources and potential, multiplying courage and confidence, plus providing support and group accountability. Joyce is the founder of the Titanium Club, a community dedicated to mastering mental toughness through a monthly in-depth study of various topical areas of human experience. Other programs that she offers include a 7-week top of the world group coaching, Reset, that's a 5 days, 4 nights, half-year retreat for leaders, and Wiser, a 31-day study of wisdom to navigate life, among others. Joyce Daniels is also the founder of Tokademi, Africa's premier training school for Master of Ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Joyce Daniels.
Yay!
Joyce.
Hi, Rashida. Thank you for having me. Good morning, where you are. Good morning and good morning to everyone. I'm awesome. Thank you. I'm fantastic. How are you? Where are you?
I'm in Abuja. Can you see me now? I'm in Abuja.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I'm presenting from Abuja or moderating from Abuja.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm in Lagos today. So
Okay.
we thank God for life and strength. Welcome. Hi, everyone. I see you all in the chats. I see some of my people. Thank you.
Right. So, Joyce, while checking through your profile online, I discovered that you are a graduate of anatomy from the University of Port Harcourt.
Imagine that.
I am curious, how and what propelled you to get into the public speaking space?
Public speaking came with me. You know, there's something we say in the market. We say follow come. When you say, okay, this battery na follow come, this charger na follow come. That is my follow come. But along the line, in the course of education, you know, this fallacy about science students being amazing and kind of being more serious than art students. So we wanted to be in science class. And if you were in science class, then you should be studying to be a doctor. And so I wanted to go down that path to being a doctor, even though deep down somewhere I kind of felt it wasn't for me. But, you know, I went ahead and university matriculation exam, didn't give me, well, no, not that they didn't give me. I didn't score high enough to get into medicine. So I took anatomy and I coasted because I know how to enjoy myself regardless. So I enjoyed it, even though I didn't really feel fulfilled. I just coasted through. Thankfully, I graduated and then went back to my love, to my mainstream, to my reality, which is speaking.
And you are doing amazingly well in this field. I know you have trained a lot of people to become public speakers. What can you share? What do you think are the mistakes that newbies make when they want to go into public speaking? And how do you think these mistakes can be mitigated?
The major mistake I would say is people think that public speaking is about speaking to a crowd. Mistake number one. Public speaking is speaking to anybody who is not yourself. Anybody. From your sibling to your parent, to your spouse, to your colleague at work. Everybody who is not you is a public. So how you communicate your thoughts and your ideas to them in ways that they understand, in ways that they can flow along, matters. That's what shows up when you speak to a crowd. So if you try to prepare for speaking to a crowd and you're not conscious of speaking to everyone else, you're already making a big mistake. And we will all sniff it out when you get up on stage, or when I say stage, I don't mean a physical stage. I'm being figurative. When you get in front of speaking to any crowd, it will show that you have not been deliberate. So how do we mitigate this? We use what I personally call the ultimate formula to life, because it fixes public speaking and many other things. I call it the 5 W's and 1 H. It's taught in journalism school. It's not a new concept to me. It's just that I've owned it and I teach it, the 5 W's and 1 H. Who am I speaking to? What am I saying to them? Why am I speaking to them? Where am I speaking? When am I speaking? How will I convey my message in the easiest way possible that they can get what I'm saying? Do I need to play a video? Do I need to show them pictures? Do I need to go there with a sample of the thing I'm describing? Who am I speaking to? What's their age? What's their profession? What's their gender? What are their biases like religion and expertise? What are their expectations? Why are they coming to me? Why was I the one chosen to speak? And why is it Rashidat I'm speaking to and not Wafo? And if I'm speaking to Wafo or Idowu, what's the difference in how I present from Tolulope? So for everyone that I speak with on a daily basis, if I can just ask, take a minute, take 2, take 5 minutes to ask these questions: who, what, where, when, why, how, I would find that the quality of my presentations per person per time will improve, which will improve my public speaking. Therefore, I will also fear less when I'm called to speak to a larger audience, because I know what to do.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've taken some notes already. So we're talking about how to profit from public speaking.
Yes.
Can you tell us some ways by which public speakers can make money?
Yes, I can. Number 1 is come join my profession as a master of ceremonies. It's one of the easiest ways to profit from speaking, because there are events every day, virtually and live, even now. Yes, we had a major blow with the COVID-19 pandemic, but things are gradually returning to some level of normalcy. So if you can anchor, moderate, or coordinate, or MC or compare an event virtually, and you know how to use platforms like StreamYard, Zoom, you know how to keep audiences engaged even virtually, chances are you can earn from it, because you can begin to tell people Rashidat, what you're doing right now is you're moderating an online event.
Right.
There's money right in front of that if you ask for it.
That's true.
If you ask for it. And there are webinars every single day. And I watched one webinar this morning. I watched the recording of a webinar that I held a few days ago, and it was such a mess because the moderator didn't even know how to share screen properly. It was a mess. And I was like, somebody's job. Oh my gosh. This was just, they don't know how to spotlight on Zoom. So it was just a mess. So if you can learn how to do that, you can ask for money. You can ask for money. That's one way to MC and moderate events. And I know somebody will ask me, but how do I break in? I always say FF, family and friends, the same way you raise money for business. And they say start with what you can raise from family and friends. How you can get clients is to start with family and friends. Don't think in your head. Pick a pen and paper and write your family map. All your siblings, your parents, their friends. Okay, well, what associations does my mother belong to? My father, where are their friends? My sister's friends, who is getting married? Who is doing? By the time you know it, you might have written a list of over 300 people. Then you now have to reach out to all of them to say, excuse me, I'm available to do this and that for you at so and so event. That's where the work comes in, because like Mr. Bayo said, the door can be open, but to get in and sustain, then you need to make those business calls, right? So what other way can you profit from your speaking? Is you can speak about whatever expertise you have. And when I say whatever, I mean whatever, as much or as far as your courage will carry you. So this is me here drinking. I'm drinking, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I think I'm drinking Zobo tea. Oyibo will call it hibiscus tea. It's Zobo, just that it's brewed with hot water. There's some ginger and garlic in there. And the person who sent this to me, she's been producing this for a while, drinking it before she started packaging it. And guess what? Now she holds some live sessions online telling people about the benefits of drinking Zobo tea, well, hibiscus tea, adding this, what this does, what that does. She has live sessions. And guess what happens after a few live sessions? People start saying, I want Zobo. Oh, what else can you see? Oh, my back hurts. What else should I be drinking? And she says, oh, lemongrass. Oh, this one. Oh, there's something called Hospital Tufa. Because she grew up in the village with her grandmother. And so she knows a lot about herbs found around Akwa Ibom State and around Nigeria. And so she's teaching from tea drinking. So when I say any expertise, I mean any expertise. I've seen people who teach others how to get their children to sleep. There's a lady on Instagram, Nigerian. She teaches people how to get your children to sleep. So she has, I think there's a name, if you know the person. I know I stumbled on her page sometime last year. I think she has thousands of followers because she's speaking to the needs of mothers. What do you say?
Mommy Clinic. Is that the name?
I don't even know if that's her name. The truth is, I right now I don't know. But I know that I stumbled on that page and she's teaching people. And most of her clients are parents, mothers and fathers who have children under the age of 6 who still struggle with bedtime. And so she teaches them how to prepare their children to go to bed and how to make them sleep early and on time. She's teaching from something she experienced first, and then possibly, and now I'm saying possibly because I don't know, possibly she added to her expertise. Teach what you know. Speak about what you know. The concern here, mitigation here, is some people are afraid of how to curriculamize what they know. This is me, Joyce. I would always just say, start from where you are. Just show up, click that go live and say, hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you are. Today, I'm going to teach us on how to change your remote control to a hair clip. And just say it. As you go along, watch what questions people are asking more of so you can pay some specialist attention. Get feedback from what's going on around you. When I say feedback, I mean constructive. In fact, I call it feed forward. Don't say, oh, was I fidgeting? Should I open my eyes more? Should I put my shoulders back? Forget all of that. Just be you, speak from your heart, your body will follow. Mitigating would be, as you go along, if you think you need more knowledge to make you more professional, then get it. Right. Don't give an excuse. If you need to pay for the knowledge, pay for it, because the more you know, the more you're likely to give, and the more you attract people who are willing to pay. People pay for value. They don't just want to pay for you showing up. They pay if you show up and give value. There are many people who show up but are not giving any value. So those are 2 points I've raised. Become a master of ceremonies and then speak on anything you have expertise in. I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah. This is also enough. Like I never knew I could profit from being a moderator.
You can very easily.
Okay, now
so don't finish the session and come and ask me for money. Rasheedat,
you better finish the session and go and ask for money. Rasheedat, if you don't ask for money, I won't be your friend again.
No, Now, talking about this, when do you think is the right time to start charging or asking for fees? When?
From
How
day one.
soon? Can I start
From
now, and or do I have to build over time before I can now start asking for fees?
ask from day one. Before I would teach, maybe get some experience. Now I've scrapped that. The moment you have courage to ask, ask. From the very
Wow.
first day you have your very first live. And when I say live, I'm just saying, because that's a common thing to do, Instagram live or Facebook live. It could be anything. From the very first day you show up, you can ask for money. I use this as an analogy. When you graduate from school, from university, and you apply for a job, and you go for the interview and they ask you how much you like to be paid, do you say, no, I don't want to be paid, let me just get experience for 1 year first, then we can talk money?
Wow.
But that was your first day of showing up.
That's true.
You expect to be paid. In fact, there's some jobs you won't take because they were not willing to pay you because you're a fresh graduate. And you say, I'm a fresh graduate, so they said I should come and work for 9 months and they won't pay me nothing. I beg, what nonsense? I'm going somewhere else. Hello? Same thing. The day you show up, ask for what your heart wants. I am done completely. I am done with telling people, ask for what you want, full stop. Let's leave it there. The people who are asking for millions and billions, it's what they want. Stop trying to justify it. And you see, we're all evolving. This thing I'm teaching might be slightly different from what I taught last year. But I've evolved in the last few days, few weeks, few months. Ask for what you want from day one. So I would ask that you build courage and confidence enough to ask. Because there are people who don't know 1/5 of what you know, but they're asking for money.
They're asking. That's true.
From when? Day one.
That's true. Thank you, Joyce. Now, let's talk about speakers kit. I've heard so much about speakers kits, design your speakers kit. What are the factors I need to consider, or what are the necessary things I need to have in my speakers kit as a public speaker?
As your what?
As a public speaker, what are the necessary things I need to have in my speakers kit, or what does it entail?
So a speaker's kit or a one-pager, I hope we're talking about the same thing when you say speaker kit, like a one-pager, right?
Yes.
That one-pager document could have a very brief summary about who you are, not necessarily a bio, just like maybe a tagline or a paragraph about who you are. It clearly states your fees. It states your travel terms or your show up terms. You could say, my fee is 500,000 naira per hour virtually and 750,000 per hour for live events, which does not include travel and accommodation costs where applicable. Joyce Daniels prefers to stay at the following types of hotels: 3 to 5 star. If it's in Port Harcourt, Abuja, Lagos, preferably the Hilton brand or the Sheraton brand or the Meridian brand. You're free to ask for what you want, write whatever. You can ask and say, Joyce Daniels prefers to have room temperature water on arrival to venue with a slice of lemon. Be as detailed as you want to be. You can ask, like, I didn't send a speaker kit for this, but I mentioned I would prefer an interview style conversation. That could be written in your speaker kit. For online engagements, Joyce Daniels would rather have interview style conversations and not speak alone presentations with PowerPoint slides or whatnot. Joyce Daniels would prefer Q&A all through. So it's about who you are and how you want to show up. That's what's in your kit. You can also write that Joyce Daniels wears green and white, green or white. So it's just good for me to let my client know in case, for example, I was on Thursday, I went to a video recording, a studio recording, TV station recording. And guess what? My green dress was the same shade as the chroma key, the green screen. So guess what? You could only see my head and my legs. My body was the same as the background. So there was a challenge. Thank God Almighty, I came in straight from Benin to the studio. So my suitcase was there, and in my suitcase, I had a white top, black skirt, which in Benin, I wore with a green turban and scarf. So I quickly changed into the white, else I would not have been able to do the recording. If I had sent a speaker kit ahead to say Joyce wears green, Nigerian green, they could have raised the red flag to say, oh, ma'am, is it possible you wear white or another color because of our green screen? So that's what a speaker kit will do for you. There is no limit to what you can write. So I advise people go online and download templates of speaker kits or one-pagers. Americans will call it one-pager. The British and Europeans will call it a speaker kit. So download copies and see what other people are writing, and then you can create yours. I have not refreshed my speaker kit in about 2 years. I used to have a very, very well designed, nice looking PDF speaker kit. But after a while, maybe I got into the rhythm of certain clients. And so we were all used to each other. But this has reminded me to go revive my speaker kit so that we reduce possibility of not being in sync. We increase the possibility of being in sync. I'm going to revive my speaker kit. Let me send that message right now to somebody on my team. Speaker kit.
That's good. That's good. I am glad I reminded you to do this. So you've been a public speaker for, say, over 12 years now, right?
14 years this year.
Oh, 14. Amazing, amazing. So what will you say makes the qualities of a great public speaker?
Qualities of a great public speaker. Number one would be, in no particular order, this is not one is more important than the other, no. Number one will be the ability to connect with your audience. The more you connect with your audience, the more your audience learns from you and carries you in their hearts. Yes, Bankole, you're right. It's not only, please let me just respond to Bankole's question. Not only does it help your client know more about you, it helps you prepare and stick within your guidelines when you send. I just saw that, so I answered. So connecting with your audience, you go to an event where there are 10 speakers. People will listen to all 10 and learn. 2 years later, who will they remember? That's my mission in life. You will remember me. And if for any reason you don't remember everything I said, you will remember something I said and some way I made you feel. That is what word did you call it? Quality. That is a quality of a great speaker. The ability to have people carry you away in their hearts. Are people carrying me in your heart? I don't want you to learn the 10 points I gave you only. I want you to carry me in your heart. I want you to think about me when you wake up 3 days later and go, that woman, she spoke. Have I followed her? Does she have a program? I want to be like her. It is okay to say, which I say, I am a role model worthy of emulation. I want people to emulate me. So I would spend time in preparing to connect with my audience. And what is one way I connect with my audience? I smile. I use names. I call you Rashidat. I refer to Taiwo or Tolulokme or Kweoluwa or Nora. I use names to connect. I would also be real in the kinds of words that I use. Avoid what I call conference speak. Conference speak is when you show up saying, today we will only talk about 5 things to make you a great speaker. Number 1 is ask your speaker. No, please, It's okay. Can
Come
you
down
please
to
just
our
be
level.
real? Be real. And you know, people will say, oh, I love the way she was just so real, so down to earth. That's the goal.
True.
But when we are afraid and trying to please everybody, we push more to conference speak and forget to be real. Use the slang of the day that people use. Tell somebody, better go and be a great speaker so that you no go choke. They will remember you. So the ability for people to carry you in their hearts, that's number one. Number two will be the quality of solutions you provide. No matter how much they connect with you, if you're not providing quality solutions, give it time. You will be forgotten for substance, remembered for feeling. And I know I'm not dissing, no, not at all. I'm just using this as a comparison. We love to watch some comedy shows, right? Where we laugh so much. But what solution did you take away from the comedy? Nothing. So a speaker who connects so much with the audience but provides no solution has had comedy show, so to speak. But then again, remember, comedy shows, if you were able to laugh so hard, then they fulfilled it. They got you in there to laugh. You laughed, full stop. They won. But if I came here to this conference, to this summit, to provide solutions, and I made everybody laugh and happy, and they say, what's the solution she even provided? And I go, it's true. What did she even say? She just made us laugh. So the quality of solutions you provide will be key. Final point I will say in having qualities of a great speaker would be, I'll leave it at the first two. Quality of solutions, connecting with your audience. If you get those two, you're made.
This is, yes, true. It's a lot. You have to connect and you have to give value as well while connecting. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Another question is, lots of people admire public speakers. A lot of people will like to speak confidently like you. We like to step on stages and wow the audience and connect with people and also get paid handsomely. But for stage fright, there are people who have value, who know what to offer. They have it in them, but they are scared. How do you think people can fight this stage fright? What tip do you have to overcome it?
Stage fright is an extension of self. If you're afraid on stage, you're afraid of something else when you're not on stage. I don't like to isolate. I no longer like to isolate stage fright to just being fear of being on stage. It's a fear of something that is not just about stage. So that's where I would ask the individual to go on a journey of growing self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, courage, and then you can deploy same everywhere you go, including on stage. If you're afraid on stage, you're probably afraid elsewhere. So, however, let me come a bit more precise to stage fright. Ask yourself why. 5 W's and 1 H again. 5 W's and 1 H. Why am I afraid? Why exactly am I afraid? Be honest. And you might say, okay, I'm afraid that they would ask me questions I don't have answers to. So write the possible questions you will be asked. Write the 20, 100 questions you will be asked. President Bill Clinton was known to do this exceptionally. He would gather members of press, family members. They would pick people from the streets who were, just regular citizens and gather them into a room and say, the president is going to have this conversation in this number of weeks. And these are the points he's going to raise. Ask your questions. And people will fire questions, like 100. And he will answer all those questions in safe space. When he goes out to public, what happens? The guess is as good as mine. He will speak confidently because he had tested the system. So last week I was preparing to have a meeting with some high-profile person. And I spoke with my mentor, one of my mentors, and I said, what are some possible questions that you think I will be asked? And he gave me 6 of them. So I wrote them and I wrote the possible answers. And I asked a few other people, what are other questions do you think this person will ask me? And they said, okay, you might ask this and that. They were variants of the same question, but I wrote all of them and I wrote my possible answers. How do you think I showed up at that meeting? With stage fright? Exactly. So if you ask again, why am I afraid? You might say, I'm afraid that I may not be able to connect with the audience. Then you now ask the question, what are possible connecting tools? Should I get there and give a compliment? Should I get there and call people's names? Should I get there early and shake the hands of at least 30 people who come in so that when I get up on stage, I can connect with those 30 first? Should I ask questions? Should I go to the Instagram page or the LinkedIn page of the event, see the people who are making comments on that page, and then send them DMs to say, I see you, Ofu Ebere, that you're going to be at the Global Brand Summit, and I look forward to connecting with you there. What are some questions you might want to ask me there? Why are you attending? And Ofu will say, hey, this, that, I will do this, hey. And guess what? I've connected. When I show up on the main day, what happens? Hey, Ofu, good to see you. Hey, Opeluwa. I've connected. I can even ask Rashidat or Kemisola or anybody else that I find commenting on that page, and I say, what I'm going to be the compere at this event or the moderator. What are some things you think I should do that will give it life? And they say, okay, well, if you can do some icebreakers that will make us get to network, so we can. Okay, you're not right. 2 icebreakers for networking. You were asking questions. That's where you do the work. You see why I don't call it hard work anymore? It's just work. I've started removing that word hard because I think it makes us feel it puts us in a space. So remove the hard. It's just work. Every venture has the required amount of work. So you do the work and you come out, you appear, you show up better. So these are some ways to overcome stage fright. You ask your 5 W's. Who am I speaking to? Am I speaking to women? Am I speaking to entrepreneurs? Am I speaking to people between the ages 25 to 45? What are the things I should say? Ask the question and prefer all the solutions before you show up.
Amazing.
Let me
Thank
quickly
you.
add something about dressing, right?
Okay.
Dress to suit your audience. It helps you feel more in touch. So, for example, if I'm expecting to speak at an event in Adamawa later this year, I'm really waiting for that to pull through. I'm going to show up dressed like you, Rashidat, even though I know that not everybody there is going to be Muslim. But chances are I would have more Christians and Muslims dressed like you, even if it's not religious, it could be cultural. But I'm going to wear my veil, my hijab, and I'm going to show up. And guess what that is going to do for my stage fright? It will reduce it because it will increase rapport, increase connection with my audience. So build rapport. It helps deal with fright. Background check. Peace.
Thank you. Second to the last question.
Fire away.
So, can you share a lesson, something you've learned on this journey as a public speaker? What is that one lesson that you've learned?
I've learned.
Or still learning.
And I'm still learning that authenticity is everything. I should be me. Say my mind, speak my mind, be true to me, and give no room to regret. I should give room to learning, to feedback, but not to regret. Regret is a state of trying to correct the past. It's not possible. But I can learn from what has happened to prepare better for the future, but I must be me. I must what? Say my mind. Be me. If I play to the crowd, I will jam rock very soon.
Absolutely.
My
That's
mouth
true.
will be twisted to one side very soon. Say your heart. Say your mind. It might not be popular, but if you're going to speak and people will hear what you have to say, please speak from your heart. Oh, man. I won't trade this for anything. Your being you will bring money, will bring fame, will bring wealth, will bring respect, will bring followership and all, but you have to be you. You. That's what I've learned. That's what I'm holding on to. I think that's one of my biggest takeaways. Be me.
Oh, Joyce. Much respect. Much more respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashida.
Thank you for this. Do you have any offers around public speaking, perhaps? I know a lot of people will want to learn more about public speaking from an expert like you.
Yes, I do. I have a book. I have a book titled Before You Speak, Read This. So now in that book, that's my second book. I wrote that in 2019. In that book, I teach for different expressions of speaking. You want to moderate a panel, I show you exactly what to do. You want to give a chairman's opening remark, a vote of thanks, a toast. You want to moderate a session. You want to different expressions of speaking, preparing your mind to speak. That book is a comprehensive guide to public speaking. I have the print copy. I have the ebook. You can find it at joycedaniels.net. For those of you who follow me online, you can send us a DM. But it's
we'll share your link now. We'll share your handles. So
okay.
That,
I know that if you go to the website, you go to books somewhere, you will see it. There is also my first book, which I still have a lot of attachment to. It's called Mastery. Boost your speaking income by becoming a professional event host MC. That was written for my 10th anniversary as a speaker in 2017. That teaches you how to be an MC, how to prepare your mind, how to connect with your clients, how to connect with your audience, how to charge, how to prepare, it's all the how-tos. You have even templates of questionnaires to send to your clients ahead of time and things like that. So those are two major ways to learn speaking from me. Then I have the online course, Talk Academy, which is still available on my website, but we changed the name to, did we change the name? I think it's still Talk Academy, the ultimate something. I know we changed the name at some point. I have a few other video programs about the ultimate speaking guide and some programs that are lower priced that people can buy. Then the one that is doing me more than anything else is the Titanium Club.
Right.
The Titanium Club is like my heart and my soul right now, because there we teach mental toughness and bounce back ability. I feel if you are mentally tough, you can take on anything in life, including public speaking. I'm tired. I got tired of seeing people who were good public speakers, but were breaking down at home. I want people who are balanced all around, who have the toughness for all round, and who can go through tough situations and pick up the very next minute. I'm tired of seeing people say, oh, I lost my job, and then for 4 months I couldn't stand up. And I'm like, oh my God, 4 months of your life. So it's a monthly, it's a year-long program. It's 10,000 naira only to join the club. And anytime you join the club, you'll get all the recordings of the past sessions. We meet twice a month, and every month we have a particular area of human experience where we discuss. In February, we discussed confidence. In March, it was fear and doubt. This April, we've just finished talking about courage, and we've had some mind-boggling testimonials by some people. Mind-boggling. Some people have done things they've been wanting to do for 4 years, but didn't have the liver to do. Now they've done. Next month, we're talking about self-esteem and self-worth. May, oh, I love that. And then in June, we'll be talking about grief and disappointment and so on. the Titanium Club, one of the great things about the Titanium Club is that it gives access. You don't get one-on-one sessions, no, but there are some months where we have an open house Q&A session where you can ask questions about anything whatsoever, and I would respond. So it's a great place to be for a token fee, the Titanium Club. JoyceDaniels.net/the Titanium Club. Or, well, send us a DM, send us a mail. Our phone numbers are everywhere on our social media platforms. Send us a message, get in touch. We'll be glad to have you join us. These are
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I see one question. Can you crack joke on stage and maybe use your audience as an instructional material?
As long as your audience is not mocked, as long as you don't make mockery of your audience, do as much as your courage will carry you. Yes, your audience can be engaged in your joke or in your punchlines, but they should not be the brunt of your jokes. They should not be the receiving end of your jokes. No, they should be a part of a happy experience. That's my professional recommendation. Are you with me?
Yes, so yes. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you clearly now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence. We will display your handles now so that people can follow you. And if you have any questions, please, you can send her a DM and check through the link in her bio for her offers. Remember to get the book. Before you speak, read this. I'm surely going to get this book. And
Yes.
Join the Titanium Club. Join the Titanium Club. Thank you so much, Joyce.
Thank you, Rasheedat. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, she's
Thank
here.
you so much, Joyce Daniels. Thank you so much for that amazing session. We got lots of value. Personally, I got a lot of value, and I'm very sure people watching us also got lots of values. So we are going to take a short break now. We're going to take a short break now, and we'll be waiting for people to drop their questions. And when we are back, we'll take a few questions, and that will be all for today.
Coached by Omobabirin presents 9 speakers, 9 topics, 1 platform, the Global Brand Summit. Featuring career, entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development. Meet the speakers. Roach Mamabolo, founder, the Laura Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Joyce Daniels, social engineering practitioner. Dugbe Akiseun, talent development and management professional. John Obidi, new media consultant and founder, Head Start Africa. Morayo Brown, media content creator, convener and anchor Your View. Christabel Ikben, CEO, Christabel Ikben Consulting Limited. Adebayo Adeyinka, author, 30 career lessons I learned along the way. Staliana Abobu Kesta, founder, principal partner, Kate CEO Nigeria, and Omobabirin Adeola Oshideko, convener, the Global Brand Summit. Schedule, date 23rd to 24th April 2021, time morning section 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and evening section 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue will be disclosed to only registered participants. Sign up now at bit.ly/the Global Brand Summit for free. Would you like to be a TEDx speaker or organizer in 2021? Pay attention to what you stand to gain. It's time you stopped playing the local game. It's time you go global. Start leveraging on international platforms. When you speak on international platforms, especially the TEDx stage, you become the go-to expert with more leads, more sales, more credibility, more exposure, more influence, and of course, more money. But it's not just about money and fame. TEDx is about being on stage, connecting with people in a real way, sharing new ideas, and making the world a better place. TEDx gives your brand more exposure and more visibility, and you can get seen, get paid, and get heard. Introducing OpenX, the organizer TEDx Benjavel or Mababirin Adeola Oshideko, an international speaker with over 5 years experience in public speaking, is ready to hold you by the hand and take you through the journey. In this program, you will learn how to become a TEDx speaker, how to apply and become a TEDx organizer, how to get more international speaking invitations, how to organize international events and source for speakers and sponsorships. Webinar fee costs only 9,999 naira. See the testimonials from cohort 1 and hurry now to register as registration is open for cohort 2 at bit.ly/openx webinar. Registration closes April 30th, 2021. Please note that you can take the webinar at your convenient time.
Welcome back, everyone. So Joyce has done a lot of justice to the public speaking topic. And I see lots of questions here, but she has left. So our convener will answer some of these questions while we wait for our next speaker. Okay, so I have one question here from Victor Olumuyiwa. He said, what gives you more engagement and a good speaking experience that would leave a lasting impression on the sand of time as a public speaker or MC? Oh, sorry, public speaking or MC. Public speaking or MC, which gives you more engagement and a good speaking experience that will leave a lasting impression on the sands of time?
So thank you for that question. What I tell people is that there's a difference between speaking and talking. And most of the time, excuse me.
Okay, let's just keep dropping your questions. I can see them here while she...
Would you like to be a TEDx speaker or organizer in 2021? Pay attention to what you stand to gain. It's time you stopped playing the local game. It's time you go global. Start leveraging on international platforms. When you speak on international platforms, especially the TEDx stage, you become the go-to expert with more leads, more sales, more credibility, more exposure, more influence, and of course, more money. But it's not just about money and fame. TEDx is about being on stage, connecting with people in a real way, sharing new ideas, and making the world a better place. TEDx gives your brand more exposure and more visibility, and you can get seen, get paid, and get heard. Introducing OpenX, the organizer TEDx Benjavel or Mababirin Adeola Oshideko, an international speaker with over 5 years experience in public speaking, is ready to hold you by the hand and take you through the journey. In this program, you will learn how to become a TEDx speaker, how to apply and become a TEDx organizer, how to get more international speaking invitations, how to organize international events and source for speakers and sponsorships. Webinar fee costs only 9,999 naira. See the testimonials from cohort 1 and hurry now to register as registration is open for cohort 2 at bit.ly/openx webinar. Registration closes April 30th, 2021. Please note that you can take the webinar at your convenient time.
Sorry for that interruption. Hello, Rashidat. We are live.
Yes, I can. Okay, yes. Okay, so the question.
So I was trying to answer that question. I said there is a difference between speaking and talking. And most of the time, people believe that once you can talk, you're automatically a public speaker. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to be trained. There are rules to this thing. There are rules. And that is why Joyce Daniels, she has an academy where she teach people how to be an event host, how to be an event compere, how to be a MC, because there are rules to these things. There are protocols. The way you need to invite your guests, the way you need to introduce your guests, the way you need to conduct yourself while you're hosting an event. There are rules. So what I will tell people is that there's an adage that says, whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. A lot of us believe that once we have talent for something, then we are good to go. There's a difference between talent and skill. Talent is your natural gift from God, raw, unpolished. You just have it that way. But why can't you take a step further from talent to skill? Skill is when you now try to polish that talent you have. When you try to get more information, you get it more reformed. You get it more presentable. Because people will, just like Joyce said, people will only follow you. People will only listen to you. People will only buy your stuff if you are giving value. So it doesn't matter whether you're a talkative, whether you're a parrot, whether you're vocal, it doesn't matter. Are you a public speaker? So bring your A game, learn public speaking. I tell people public speaking is a skill, it's not a talent. Talking is a talent, while public speaking is a skill. So that is just what I will say about that.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Odewale Emmanuel said, if you were to start public speaking all over, what are the things you will avoid to hasten up the journey?
Okay, if you are to start public speaking all over, like you want to.
You have been a public speaker. You've been a public speaker for a while now. You are a TEDx organizer. Okay, what do you think you can change, or what will you do better if you were to start afresh as a newbie?
Okay, some of the things I will do better is getting to my events on time.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are latecomers. It's part of us, as probably, I don't know, maybe it's an African thing or what, I don't know. But I know a lot of people don't keep to time. And one thing that happens when you don't keep to time, especially when you are supposed to speak at an event, is that you get nervous. You get so agitated. You get unnecessarily worried. Like, oh, I'm already late. You're sweating. You're nervous. And that might actually affect your delivery. Most of the time, I just do my things like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What about being at the place? Whether it is online, whether it is offline, it doesn't matter. Get to the venue on time so that you're settled, you're calm, you're refreshed, and you are ready to deliver value. Okay. So that's one thing. Let me just quickly add another one.
Okay.
Dress well. Dress well. Don't say I wear shoe. At times I wear cover shoe for live presentation. You will be wondering, cover shoe, like shoe for what now? Like I dress as if I am going to be you're going to be seeing me from head to toe. Even right now, I'm using a lapel pin, and you're not. I'm not sure so many people can see it, but it doesn't matter. There is a role of dressing in boosting your confidence. When you dress well, it makes you look prepared. I don't know how it works for other people, but personally for me, it works magic for me. Anytime, that is why my dressing game is always top notch. Whether I'm doing a live video, that's why I see some people doing a live video with hair nets on, and they're like, oh, we don't care. This is who you are. I am real. No, there's a difference between realness and mediocrity. True. You understand? When you're showing up, show up all correct. There's this saying my coach will always say, she will always say, is it that you don't come or you come correct? So is it that you don't appear or you appear correct? When you're appearing for a public event, just like Joyce said, a lot of us believe that it is only when we are speaking to 200, 300 people that we are doing public speaking. No. Speaking to your neighbor, speaking to anybody, once you are not speaking to yourself, it's already a public speaking. So you need to bring your A game on whatever level you find yourself. And hey, the almighty John Obidi is here.
Oh,
So
amazing.
I'm going to be leaving the stage right now for you to usher him in. If you are all excited to see the almighty John Obidi, please put some fire emoji in the comments as we welcome our next guest. Thank you, Rashidat. Thank you, everyone who has been watching. And I hope you are getting value. If you're getting value, put value in the comments section.
So we call him Daddy J.O. Daddy J.O., he is the founder of Head Start Africa, an online business consultant. Before we introduce him, I'd like to read his bio so that you get to know more about him before he comes online. Please share the screen. So he's going to talk to us about how to monetize your knowledge through digital products. John Obidi is a new media consultant, an international speaker, and a personal development trainer. He is a highly skilled, compelling visionary, and phenomenal resourceful person, bringing practical intelligence and transferable solutions to both the workplace and marketplace as a whole, and doing so in the most innovative and unconventional ways, unlocking admiration and gratitude from clients and industry stakeholders everywhere. In 2018, as a thought leader in personal development leadership, and online marketing, John's blog, podcasts, webinars, workshops, masterclasses, conferences, and speaking engagements are acclaimed to be practical, disruptive, paradigm shifting, forward-looking, and highly progressive. He has served as keynote speaker in Brazil, UAE, Ghana, Zambia, and Nigeria. John is available as a keynote speaker and panelist for conferences, workshops, and knowledge sharing platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our Daddy J.O., John Obidi.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, John. Good afternoon. Thank
you.
Good
afternoon, Kemisola.
Rashidat.
Oh, you're Rashidat, and you are Kemisola.
I am Adeola.
I think
that's a comment. Oh, cool.
Good morning from the city of Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. I hope you're fine today.
Good afternoon from the city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates.
Okay, so I'm speaking from Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. You are speaking from Dubai, UAE, and Rashidat is speaking from Abuja, Nigeria. So we have 3 countries in Africa well represented. Wow. So it's good to finally meet you, John. It's been awesome following you everywhere. Start Africa, the Future Awards, and congratulations on all the big feats you've achieved. We're so proud of you representing Nigeria well all over the world. Your fans, our audience are so excited to have you today, and I believe they're going to have good time with you. So I'm going to hand you over to Rashidat for a few minutes before you finally take over the stage. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, welcome again, John. You'll be talking to us about monetizing your knowledge through digital products.
Okay. All right. So how long do I have?
You have 30 minutes and 10 minutes to take questions, please.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for the great introduction. I really appreciate the work that is being done here at the Global Brand Summit. I mean, you guys, the conveners, have pulled out all the stops. You have made this a fantastic event. I appreciate the high level of excellence that I can see on display right here. God bless you. And I'm just pleased and grateful to be a part of this phenomenal experience you have going on here. I have just 30 minutes, so I will do my best to say what I have to say within the time I have. I'm here to teach you about how to monetize your knowledge by selling digital products. First of all, I would like us to mentally remove ourselves from the hustle mentality. All right. There are two types of people that sell digital products. There is one type of people who are in it for the hustle. Those are the kinds of people that they sell digital products this year. By next year, nobody knows their name. They're gone just as quickly as they came. There's another category of people that when they come into the game, they are there. They build a long-term name for themselves. They build a long-term reputation as people who solve problems. So information marketing, for example, gets a lot of bad rap because some people come into it and say, oh, it's not just to create an ebook, package an ebook and sell. That hustle mentality needs to leave because it will get you into trouble. You have to instead become someone regarded as a thought leader, someone who is highly regarded, trusted, and rewarded for their ideas, for their solutions that they bring repetitively and consistently to a particular field. All right. So it's not about just information marketing. Or just get any kind of information, whether you wrote it or not, or whether I just get it and then write fantastic copy to convince people to buy and then sell it and make money. That is crappy. That is gutter behavior. All right. You are setting yourself aside as a thought leader, a leader of thought. You have your own original ideas and solutions that you are coming to the marketplace with. And when you come with that energy, you cannot be commoditized. All right. You cannot be commoditized. You will have value. Okay. Now, that said, I will ask you, what is your unique solution? Write it down. What is your unique solution? And I'll explain. Say, for example, you want to get into social media marketing and you now want to create a course on social media marketing. Everybody can do social media marketing. Nobody's going to buy that course for up to 50,000 naira, or even 20,000 naira. You'll be like one of those guys that hustle and sell for 5K. Why? Because it's commoditized. What are you going to teach me about social media? How to post, how to create? No, you need to create your unique solution, because that's what people are going to pay for results. So sit down and think, formulate something. What system can I use to take someone from point A to B? So for example, what are the problems out there making sales online? Do you have a predictable system that you have implemented, that you can implement or have implemented for somebody that can help people increase their sales predictably? Because people run away from that predictability, all right? Because they don't want any guarantee to be on them. Can you predictably help someone make sales profitably online? What is the system, the step-by-step process? You write it down, then give it a name. That is called your unique mechanism or your unique solution. So if you have a way of getting that result, you create a name out of it and say, this is how I've been able to get you, 100% more sales using my unique XYZ method. Wow. What's the XYZ method? Then that is what you are selling. All right. And over time, you develop that method, you make it bigger and you make it better. That is what people are going to pay for. Now, assuming nobody knows you and you've not done this before, you have to find a way to do it for someone, whether it is free or paid, so that you can prove that this thing works. Okay? When you do it and then you've been able to prove that this thing works, then you can start selling. I do not recommend anyone to start selling courses when they don't have results in what they are claiming to help people with. Of course, the hustlers don't care about this, but you should care. All right? Once you are sure that this thing can give people results, then you can go around selling it. Okay? One of my best selling courses personally is one of my courses called Business Beyond Borders. And it teaches people how to take their businesses beyond the shores of Nigeria or whatever country that you're in, so that when you travel to foreign countries, what exactly you need to do in order to penetrate their business community. I didn't even teach that thing until I had done it, created a way for myself. I now had formulated a system. My entire process or experience doing that and taking my business international was what I now put together in that course and sold. You cannot take people on a journey that you've never been on. All right? So once you've been on that journey, you've been able to prove it works for you or for your clients or for somebody else you've done it for, then you can start selling. All right? Now, what do you need to do in order to be a long-term, consistent digital product creator or thought leader? You need to build community around your solution. All right? You need to build community around your solution. And that brings me to platforms, because social media platforms give us that avenue to build community around a cause, but in this case, around a product. All right. So you have a product that you are selling. You want people to you want people to see that this thing is unique and this thing can solve their problems. You need to build an audience. And one of the fastest ways, guys, one of the fastest ways to build an audience, can you guess what it is? Now, if I were to be teaching you guys this in 2015, I would say, okay, start a mailing list, run Facebook ads, put out a lead magnet. But these days, the fastest way to build community around something or to build an audience is by doing what we are doing right now, a virtual event. All right? It's by hosting a virtual event. What's going to happen is that if you put out on Facebook now that for 3 days we are going to be teaching about this people, and it's going to be free, people take that more seriously. I mean, look at you guys, you know, you were brought here, weren't you? Right? So that's how you would do it. Create your own virtual event. It not only draws that initial crowd, it also helps you to form relationships with other people that are going to be speaking at that event. All right. It also helps you form relationships. So you not only position yourself in front of the audience as a solution provider, you are also positioning yourself as a stakeholder in that industry with other speakers, high profile and whatnot, that are going to be speaking there. So that is why. So you are going to be able to do that. And also, when you're hosting a virtual event, I always say that your product should be ready before you even start the virtual event. Because as you're proceeding along the virtual event, you'll be mentioning the product, you'll be selling it, and you can actually start making money almost immediately at that virtual event. Now, when you do that, even after the virtual event, those that don't buy would form members of your community. I'm sure those of you who register for this event put your name and email somewhere, right? That is how you build a list. The list that you would build doing this will be much more than the list you would build doing a regular lead magnet. So launching a virtual event is the fastest way, the most effective way right now to launch yourself out to the world, or your product out to the world. Okay? And even if you've already launched, even if you're already out there, it's also a great way to relaunch to the world. All right. You will get a lot more sales and you get a lot more believers, because here's the thing. We know about the fact that people buy from those that they know, like, and trust, right? Well, know, like, and trust takes time to build. But on a virtual event, you can build that know, like, and trust factor faster. Instead of taking 3 months to build know, like, and trust, you can build that in just 3 days or whatever the duration of that event is. All right. Now, there are some people who are watching this who have never heard John Obidi speak before. Maybe you've heard about my name, you've heard me somewhere, you see my picture somewhere on social media, but you've never heard me teach before. And this might be your first experience with me. But in just 30 minutes of me making my presentation and giving you value, we have formed a bond. We have created a brand loyalty between you and my brand. This loyalty, this bond that we have created, or we are creating right now, will be very difficult to create over, say, an email list where you can't see my face, you can't hear my voice, you can't have a feel of what my personality is. It's a lot tougher. All right. But in just 30 minutes, if you didn't know me before, now you know me. If you knew me before and you weren't sure whether I was capable of teaching, now you know that I am fantastic at teaching. If you've seen me before, you've not heard my phone, you've not heard my fine voice and my beautiful English before, now you've heard it and you're impressed. Amen. So this is the beauty of virtual events or any kind of virtual presentation. And here's the thing, virtual events don't have to be complicated. If you have the strength and the grabness, like the Global Brand Summit, to make it as beautiful as this, fantastic, go ahead and do it. But if you don't have the wherewithal to make it like this, you can make do with Zoom. It can be as complicated as you want or as simple as you want, okay? So you can make do with Zoom, okay? So with Zoom, you can just put that together and make it work. But if you can use this kind of platform, then fantastic, it works, all right? So now you've created your virtual event. What next do you need to do? You need to create a platform that you can onboard your followers or your audience over to. You can put them on a Facebook group, or you can put them on an email list. You can put them on a Telegram channel. You know, there are multiple options for these today. Personally, I use a Facebook group. That's what I just prefer to use. My communication style supports that. I have a Facebook group of over 170,000 people. It's called Head Start Africa. And that's where I prefer to do that. All right. Now, once you have them in there, you can keep on selling your product. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Every time you put out your product to sell, nobody looks out for when next you're selling your product. However, they look out for when next you are adding value or communicating with them. Okay. And that is why content matters. And so when you are planning your virtual events, the next logical step is to onboard them into a going concern like your podcast or maybe a weekly webinar. All right. When I was just starting, I had weekly webinars, I had weekly podcasts so that there will be a going concern. Everybody knew that every Thursday, John Obidi will be going live by 8 p.m. So create something. Whether you are going live or you are going to put it out as a recorded podcast, create something that you can feed them with every now and again. I prefer every week. You can make it more frequently if you wish. But that will now be your fantastic excuse, not just to give them value, but to sell something. After giving value on the podcast episode or on the webinar or on the video recording, you pitch your product, you make sales. Okay. So making money from your digital product does not have to be complicated. Use this simple system. I don't give you like a 1-hour sermon that you may not be able to practice. Just take what I've just said right now, put it into practice. It's going to work for you and you're going to convert, you're going to make sales. Okay. So this is the size of my short package. I want to dedicate the rest of my time to answering your questions. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I'm sure I've been able to add value in the short time that I've been here. Usually I talk for hours and hours, but I'm trying to respect the time and also to take your questions so that I can give you bespoke answers to the questions you have in your heart.
Okay, thank you very much for that short and concise presentation.
Thank you,
We are
Kemi.
going to be receiving your questions now. We're going to give people some time, 1 minute or thereabouts, to drop their questions. So we are going to go on a short break now. And by the time we are back, I believe they would have dropped their questions. So hi, guys, please drop your questions. I know you have a lot you want to ask John Obidi. about how you can monetize your digital product. We are in a digital age, and people are cashing out daily, selling their digital products, probably converting their talents, their skills, their expertise, their knowledge into digital products and selling it. So if you have any question, please drop it and we will be right back.
Would you like to be a TEDx speaker or organizer in 2021? Pay attention to what you stand to gain. It's time you stopped playing the local game. It's time you go global. Start leveraging on international platforms. When you speak on international platforms, especially the TEDx stage, you become the go-to expert with more leads, more sales, more credibility, more exposure, more influence, and of course, more money. But it's not just about money and fame. TEDx is about being on stage, connecting with people in a real way, sharing new ideas, and making the world a better place. TEDx gives your brand more exposure and more visibility, and you can get seen, get paid, and get heard. Introducing OpenX, the organizer TEDx Benjavel or Mababirin Adeola Oshidekon, an international speaker with over 5 years experience in public speaking, is ready to hold you by the hand and take you through the journey. In this program, you will learn how to become a TEDx speaker, how to apply and become a TEDx organizer, how to get more international speaking invitations, how to organize international events and source for speakers and sponsorships. Webinar fee costs only 9,999 naira. See the testimonials from cohort 1 and hurry now to register, as registration is open for cohort 2 at bit.ly/OpenX webinar. Registration closes April 30th, 2021. Please note that you can take the webinar at your convenient time.
Okay, you're all welcome back. I don't have any question here right now, but I believe people will still drop their questions. So we are still waiting for your questions. Please drop them. But while we're waiting for that, I would like to ask about the fact that some people launch out today to sell their digital products, and they are not selling. Like, nobody's even asking me what I'm selling. And because a lot of people believe, because they've not gathered enough influence, like nobody know me, I'm not so popular like the almighty John Obidi, like Joyce Daniels and the rest. I don't have the confidence to even launch out because I believe nobody is going to buy from me. So what advice can you give people that are just coming up on the digital space? How can they position themselves in a way that they will be able to sell their digital products well?
Well, that's why you have to have a unique solution. Like, has your solution worked? Most people can't answer this question confidently. That's the real problem. It's not a matter of, people are not. Do you really believe in this thing? Has it worked anywhere before? Or is it just hope? Or you're just, if we do it, I'm sure it will work. Has it really worked? Don't be a thief. Like, so if you have, because the confidence with which you market comes from an inner conviction that this thing works. I've traveled across the world. I've done business across countries. My waka about is on my Instagram. Everybody can see it. There's proof of work, is verifiable. With that confidence, I sell business beyond borders. And I've sold millions of naira worth of that thing. I've sold many courses. All right, because I'm fully confident. Wake me up from my sleep and say, John, teach this thing. I can tell you if you go to this country, go here, attend this meeting, you will blow confidently because I have done it. So whatever you are selling, have you done it? Because I've been in this game since 2013, and I've seen people just come, they just go online, read something. Sometimes they just plagiarize. Because you know what you did, you won't have confidence to sell that thing well. Because you know what you did, you will sell that thing very cheap. Or let's assume you did not do all of those things. You actually have put something together that is somewhat valuable. You've not quite tested it. You don't quite know that it works. Otherwise, if you know that it works, you will believe in that product and you will market it in the way someone who believes in their product does. All right. Now, for example, I saw this video ad you put up here about the TEDx thing. Why are you putting that up with such confidence? You got a voiceover person to create it. They made a nice animation, made it into a nice video ad, and they're playing it for people to see. Why? Because you have done TEDx Bingerville over and over again. You've got years in the game. There's nothing anybody you have experience, so you can sell it. But there's somebody somewhere that will see you now. You are selling something on public speaking. Should we meet you can speak in public. They will now go and create something on public speaking. But you started yesterday. Yeah.
Just push it out.
You push it out. But you won't be able to have as much confidence to push it out as much as someone like you who has been there for years. You know the ins and outs. I can ask you questions now at random without preparing, and you will answer me because you have experience. All right. So your unique mechanism, your unique solution, does it work? If you are confident that it works, you will put it out there naturally. All right. People talk about this thing called imposter syndrome. All right. Sometimes imposter syndrome is correct because you might be an imposter.
You might actually not know what you think you know.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that. Another thing is quality. Let's talk about quality. Again, you heard me praising the quality of the Global Brand Summit. People have to understand.
Thank you.
Yes. People have to understand this thing called quality, because these days your competition is not the guy in Lagos or the guy in Abidjan anymore. Your competition is the guy in South Korea. Nobody is going to, just give you some consideration because you're coming from the third world. No. People just want value. They just want what can solve their problems. If the guy in Johannesburg can give it to them, they will go there and take it online. If the person in South Korea can offer it, they will take it. If the person in India or in Egypt or Morocco can offer that, they will exchange value. They will give the person money for that thing. So why should they come to you in the third world? And that is where your idea of quality needs to be enhanced. It needs to be enhanced above that which you are used to in your local environment. So go on YouTube and watch how the best of the best create their own, and ask yourself, how can I create on that level of quality and that level of excellence?
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, by the way, when are you going to be coming to Cote d'Ivoire? I want to host you in Cote d'Ivoire. I should have invited you for our last TEDx Benjamin, but because of COVID, we had issues with people like, I don't want to come and catch COVID. But I thought COVID is everywhere. COVID is not just only in Cote d'Ivoire. So I wonder. So probably one of these days we'll love you to come. Let me teach you some much French. I saw one of your video when you went to Brazil. You learned a little of the language before you left. That was quite challenging, because when I saw that video, I was just like, wow, this is someone who is ready. I told people yesterday, nobody will call on you when you're not ready. For you to have taken your time to learn a language before you even go there, it shows that you are actually very ready. So, so maybe one of these days you come to Cote d'Ivoire, I'll teach you some more French, even though I can't speak. That'd be a great idea. Bonjour, ça va bien, merci, and all of that. Okay, so I have another question here. Someone is asking that when you were talking about the virtual events, are you just talking about the video event? Can't they do WhatsApp, Telegram, and co?
I don't recommend it.
Can we also call them virtual events?
We can call them virtual house fellowship.
House fellowship. Okay, I hear you always say that. I hear you always say that house fellowship thing.
That's virtual house fellowship. Do a proper virtual event, please.
Okay, so another question. How can someone get distracted easily with numerous product ideas that they end up not executing any of them?
Start with one. He who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. So you start with one, get some traction. You might start with the first one and it doesn't gain traction. That's okay. It's feedback. Create another one. Even me, I've created stuff that didn't quite resonate with the market. It didn't quite sell. So like 5 copies. I said, okay, cool. I moved on. Did the next one. Sold 100. Good. Moved on to the next one. Sold 1,000. So the market wants what the market wants. You can't force what the market doesn't want on the market. So try one out first. See how it goes. Learn your lessons. Put out another one.
Okay, thank you for that. Another person is asking, how do I start a virtual event with a low audience? I think you've answered that.
Yeah, I have. So if you want to even boost this, you can run
Cinema.
Facebook ads. Everybody here should learn how to use Facebook ads. Go and search for Facebook Blueprints. Okay, Google Facebook Blueprints. It's a program by Facebook to teach you how to run Facebook ads. It's totally free.
Okay, someone is asking that you're talking about onboarding your audience to your own platform. Is it all about creating your website or a personal app? Is that what you mean by your own platform?
No, well, your website is important, but what I mean by your platform is where you can engage them, like your email list or your Facebook group or your Telegram channel.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is quite straightforward. Okay, someone is saying, must I share value created by me only to onboard my audience, or I can share that which others have created too?
So the best way to share that which others have created is to host a podcast, like what we are doing here now, right? You are hosting me here, and you have liberty to share this conversation with your audience, even though it's curated. This is the best way. I'm being very careful to answer that question because when you say share, some people's definition of share means piracy. You
Piracy,
just go
plagiarism,
to somebody's and they'll share. That's not sharing. That is stealing. It's not sharing. It's
stealing,
stealing.
stealing in
It's not
quotes.
yours. You don't own the copyrights, okay? But what we are doing here, the copyright belongs to the Global Brand Summit. So she is at liberty to use this content curated here to engage her audience. So this is to just do exactly what is happening here. Then you can interview people, curate their knowledge, and you can use that to engage your audience. Yes.
Okay, I will take this second to the last question. I think that will be all for today so that you can go and enjoy your weekend. So we have another one here. What are the best place to sell a digital product and how can I market them? I think that's a whole lot of questions. That is a course on its own.
Yeah,
Where
but
can
if you
I
follow
sell my
this system, if you
digital
follow this
product?
system, you have a if you have an audience that already loves what you do and loves your solution, and they are the ones you will sell to.
Okay. I think that is even the last question. Let me check. That is the last question, I guess, for today. Thank you very much. So before you finally go, we'd like you to also just tell us. I think while you were presenting, you mentioned few of the things you do, few of your courses, few of your training. I know you do a lot of mentorship and all that, but specifically, can you just give us a quick run uh, on the courses you have available that people can key into?
Okay, so I have one right now. It's called Business Beyond Borders. That will teach you what exactly you need to do when you travel in order to penetrate the international business community. So you want to be an international businessman or international businesswoman. You can't do it from Africa or use the internet. You have to actually go there. But even when you go there, what you do when you are in that country is what will determine how far you will go. Okay, I learned this after I had been spending money on tourism. I realized that there's a way to actually enter a country and penetrate their business environment, and that is called Business Beyond Borders. Okay, so I have another one also. It is an app called App Canvas. It teaches it's an app that helps you to create mobile apps without needing to code. All right, it's called App Canvas, and I also have my Wisdom mentorship group called Inner Circle Mentorship. So these are the three things that I'm currently selling at the moment.
So thank you very much for this amazing session. I got a lot of value, and I'm very sure people out there too got lots of value. So we want to appreciate it for your time, for coming around to share value with people. I hope when we call you some other time, specifically on TEDx Benjerville, we're planning something very soon that will be physical event. So we believe that when we send our invitation, you will honor it. Thank you once again, and do have a wonderful weekend.
The pleasure is mine. So, guys, if you want to get any of those products, just send me a DM on Instagram, and I would be happy to have you.
Okay, so please send John Obidi a DM on Instagram. You can follow him on Facebook too. You can join his Facebook community. He's a very well-known community on Facebook, Start Africa, and you can also find a way to send him an email if you need him to do anything for you. You need to work together with him. Thank you, and do have a lovely weekend. So, guys, We are good to go. Thank you, everyone who joined us. We're going to take a break now. And when I'm back, I will tell you what's on ground.
Would you like to be a TEDx speaker or organizer in 2021? Pay attention to what you stand to gain. It's time you stopped playing the local game. It's time you go global. Start leveraging on international platforms. When you speak on international platforms, especially the TEDx stage, you become the go-to expert with more leads, more sales, more credibility, more exposure, more influence, and of course, more money. But it's not just about money and fame. TEDx is about being on stage, connecting with people in a real way, sharing new ideas, and making the world a better place. TEDx gives your brand more exposure and more visibility, and you can get seen, get paid, and get heard. Introducing OpenX, the organizer TEDx Benjavel or Mababirin Adeola Oshideko, an international speaker with over 5 years experience in public speaking, is ready to hold you by the hand and take you through the journey. In this program, you will learn how to become a TEDx speaker, how to apply and become a TEDx organizer, how to get more international speaking invitations, how to organize international events and source for speakers and sponsorships. Webinar fee costs only 9,999 naira. See the testimonials from cohort 1 and hurry now to register, as registration is open for cohort 2 at bit.ly/OpenX webinar. Registration closes April 30th, 2021. Please note that you can take the webinar at your convenient time.
Thank you all for staying with us. So we have come to the end of our morning session, and we are going to be meeting again by the grace of God in the evening by 5 p.m. We're going to be meeting by 5 p.m. We are going to be having 2 people for the evening session. We are having Christabel Ikpen, and we are also having Dupe Akishin, all from LinkedIn. Christabel is going to be teaching us how you can leverage LinkedIn and get the best out of it. Are you looking for a job? Are you trying to get connection? Are you trying to network to sell your business or your brand? She's going to be teaching you what are the things you need to do on LinkedIn. It's not just about being on LinkedIn. There are certain things you need to do. There are certain strategies you need to apply so that you can get the best out of it. And Dupe Akishin is going to be taking us on boardroom and workplace politics. Politics is everywhere. People play politics to get promoted. People play politics to get some benefit at work. Even people play politics to get job, to get an employment. So she's going to be teaching us how can you manage or navigate all this politics that happens in the workplace. Oh, she's from a tribe. Oh, she's a Yoruba lady. She's an Igbo lady. Oh, I prefer that. She's fair. She has the same surname. People play all sorts of favorism when it comes to workplace environment. So that's what we are going to be doing in the evening. I will implore you to join us by 5 p.m. today, where we are going to be ending and we're going to be wrapping up the session. We are going to be wrapping up the summit finally, the Global Brand Summit for 2021. And I can assure you that at the end of the session today, this evening, there will be so many freebies and offers. So if you're around, if you stick around, you will enjoy every one of it. Thank you. And I will see you all by 5 p.m. I'll see you all by 5 p.m. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend, and bye.